So we have a question in here that's come in. Actually, Checo, you can clarify this one.
Okay.
I'm going to put you on the spot, man.
Yeah. So I do have customers that have taken this approach. Now, the other thing is, it's not a silver bullet approach, right? So there's no silver bullets, let's be honest. But in terms of looking at that ability to rationalize and start to think about how do I create a more of a future-proof back end, for monitoring, for visibility. I have customers that have done it. What would I wish they would have done differently? I'll just be honest. I think the nature of the beast is we always start with tech.
Start with what?
We start with the tech. So, I'll be honest, like, I totally, I've been CTO, CIO in organizations where I've actually had to do this type of modernization. And when you do it, the first part of it is actually like a religious war, right? It's like everyone has their tools. No one wants to change, obviously, because change is hard. Everyone has their go-to pieces. But what I think is really important, and the way you start to break that down, is by bringing the business into it, bringing the business use cases. The why of what we're doing isn't to deliver tech. The why is in the customer. It's the voice of your customer. It's the business that you're rolling out to. And if you can help people to understand why, it's very important. So just like really quick, so I was like stories and things. So I heard a story once about, I don't know if you know Christopher Wren. He was a great architect, designed a lot of the cathedrals you'll see in London, and he was out, one day he got up and he's like, let me go see what's going on out here. And he went up to a guy laying bricks, and the guy was like, hey, what are you doing here? He's like, laying bricks, just throwing them in. He's like, oh man, that's not what I want to hear. And then he kind of walked down and he goes, what are you doing? This person's like, me. I'm here contributing to what is going to be like the greatest cathedral ever built in the history of the world, designed by Sir Christopher Wren. He didn't even know what the guy looked like because there's no photos or anything in the day. But if you think about that, we need every person on our team to understand that you're not just doing this. You're not doing these little jobs. You're contributing to something bigger, and the why of it's very important, and that's your starting point.
Well, going along with that, this is an interesting question that came in. What is a good example of something of this where running differently could look like for an organization? So, give us a before and an after in a very concrete way.
Okay. So running differently, I think, the very concrete way is if you look at running better, we start to just solve linear problems. So a very concrete way is going to be, I look at the world in sort of single line use cases. It's hammers and nails. So if we think about, running better to me is, and I see companies do it in a concrete way, we get really good at playing whack-a-mole. Little head pops up, we're like, ba-bam, ba-bam. And we have people that have been doing it for 20 years, and they're like, wow, I'm really good at this. Running differently is really when you start to see it's going to be the people, process, tools integration. Like I said, I think that the use case, actually, you want to move your posture to one where at least I'm starting to look at things more from a lens of being, I'm being more near-time reactive to even proactive, right? It's that posture of, can I start to see things at the point of degradation where like that, I get a standard deviation away from the norm.
I like that little gap there, because our standard maturity model is unprepared, reactive, proactive, and anticipatory. Yes. And I could kind of explain that, but I like the fact that you can sort of, in a sense, there seems to be a really big gap between reactive and proactive, and your point is you can kind of edge into that by reacting closer. It's almost the whole shift left, closer and closer to the source.
It's a shift left, but I'll say, so your last, in any maturity model, the first two are always run better. The last two are run differently. Yeah. If you look at any model, and that, to your point, that bridge between the two, it's actually more of a leadership response than it is, like, the technology will do it. Like, if I'm going to move from,
But
completely
you've
reactive to
got,
AI
you've got to
ops
stop
platform.
praising people for their skill at whack-a-mole and start praising people for sitting, for
Exactly.
noticing that no moles have come up for a week and everybody was doing something else. And
Exactly.
that is a cultural
and
shift.
raising, I'll say raising issues, right? People don't like to raise issues because we have lives, we have things we want to do. But if we can start to look at this, collectively and have a common language is very important to
Absolutely.
driving that. And that's really one of the key pieces that gets you between the two spaces.
Well, guys, we started this entire day talking about how visibility was one of the key themes, and we are wrapping up the presentations with visibility being one of the key themes. So everybody, please thank Erik. Erik, great job.
Thank you so much.